What's good, everybody, man? Welcome to the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, please like, please subscribe, please share, and turn on that notification bell so that way you get information as I post it. So today we're talking Week 5, fantasy football waiver wire. Tons of injuries Sunday. Antonio Gibson got hurt, so we don't really know if he's going to play or not. But it's good to have a Jared Patterson stashed. I think that McKissick is going to be the guy that gets the bulk of the touches for the Washington football team. What other injuries happened? Joe Mixon, that was a big one on Thursday night. Joe Mixon got hurt, so Piron is expected to be a big pickup. Even the Chris Evans in deeper leagues. What other injuries? There's a big one that escapes my mind right now. David Montgomery. So David Montgomery got hurt. And right now, Damian Williams is the number one waiver wire pick this week. So hope you guys are doing well. I don't know how you guys' fantasy teams are going, but for the bulk of my teams, I'm either 3-1 or 2-2. Some are, 4-0. I got a lot of 1-3s, and then I have like very few. I think 1 or 2 0-4s. One is a dynasty. I'm just gonna go ahead and just tank, and then the other one, I just got to weather the storm because it's a league where nobody trades. So we all hate those leagues where you're in a league, nobody wants to trade, and it's kind of like, what do you do? What do you do at this point? So give me a moment to pull up my list, and then we'll kind of go through top waiver priority players to go ahead and scoop. While I'm preparing my list, I want to talk about Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell has been great this season. For those of you guys that have Miles Sanders, just go ahead and sell, or you can just go ahead and bench Miles Sanders for now. It seems like the Eagles love to hurry up with Kenneth Gainwell. He had a great game last week versus the Chiefs. This is live, so I can't go back and edit that live, but it's all good. So, like I said, tons of information to go through. I'm going to run through the quarterback ones from this previous week. I'm going to run through the quarterback and wide receiver. I'm going to go through each position and just kind of give you guys the QB ones, QB twos, and things of that nature. So, as I'm pulling up my list, Cordero Patterson, he should be rostered everywhere by now. But if he's not rostered, then he's definitely a guy that you want to go ahead and grab and put into your lineup. I failed to start him last week versus the Washington football team's trash defense. I should have, but I didn't. And you know what? You just learn sometimes. You just learn from your mistakes and you just keep it moving. So, give me one moment. Let me pull up this list. Man. Fantasy is one of those things where you get happy, you get mad, you get sad, you get upset. Timeout Sports, man, what's good, man? We need to trade for O.J. Howard, man. Absolutely. This is the perfect time to trade for O.J. Howard. Right now that his value is so low and so cheap, if I'm the football team, I'm going ahead and sending them I think a 5th or 6th round pick possibly gets it done. Last year, you can say a 3rd round pick, but at this moment in time, I think a 5th or 6th round pick gets it done. Gronkowski's out. Cameron Brate got tons and tons of the snaps. You didn't see O.J. Howard a lot, so he seems to be falling out of favor with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So most definitely that's a trade that I would make if I'm the Washington football team. No doubt about it at all. So as we look at the QB ones from last week, there's a little bit of surprises here and there. Let me go to week 4. Week 4. Pull up some quarterbacks. All right, so last week, give me a moment. This is what happens when you use Yahoo. Sometimes it doesn't give you accurate information, but okay. So Sam Darnold was the QB1 last week. Sam Darnold has turned into a Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick type guy. So Sam Darnold should be available on some waiver wires. People still don't trust Sam Darnold. So if you're looking for a quarterback, Sam Darnold is definitely one to go ahead and target. Patrick Mahomes was QB2. Matt Ryan was QB3. The Washington football team played the Saints. You want to go ahead and put Jameis Winston into your lineup, plug him in there because it seems like these guys continue to, command top tier opposing teams production. That means quarterbacks are going off, wide receivers are going off. So yes, anybody that the football team is playing, go ahead and plug and play that opponent into your lineup. Taylor Heineke came in at QB5 this week. And I traded Taylor Heineke in a league, is a super flex league, and that Taylor Heineke trade helped me get a Darren Waller and Kareem Hunt. But obviously, I traded away George Kittle, Kenyon Drake, and Taylor Heineke. The guy needed a second quarterback. So, yes, if you have Taylor Heineke in a super flex league, go ahead and sell. I like Taylor Heineke, obviously, but in fantasy, you want to sell him right now that his stock is so high. So he came in at a quarterback 5. Like I mentioned, Daniel Jones has just been awesome this year. 402 yards, 2 touchdowns. He came in at QB6. Dak Prescott at 7. Aaron Rodgers at 8. Kyler Murray at 9. Russell Wilson at 10. Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert at 11 and 12, rounding out the QB1s for this week. Trey Lance is a guy to keep an eye on. You might want to put in a claim on Trey Lance if you have problems securing a quarterback, because obviously a few are hurt right now. Jimmy Garoppolo is hurt, and Trey Lance scored 20 fantasy points in the first half. So he's definitely a guy that you want to go ahead and plug in and play, or grab him, stash him if you got space in your league, because he might be able to produce for you. A buy low guy is Ryan Tannehill. Right now, he's pretty bad. He's pretty terrible right now, but his stock is going to continue to rise as the season progresses. He had 18 points in regular leagues this week, 23 last week. I expect him to start to trend upwards as soon as his receivers start to get healthy. Definitely a guy that you want to buy low right now. Some of the other rookies, if you play in Superflex leagues, Zach Wilson is on the come up. Mac Jones is on the come up. Trevor Lawrence is on the come up. So one of these 3 guys should do something for you as the league progresses, or as the season progresses. I'm sorry. So here are the wide receivers that came in 1 through 12 this week. Tariq Hill, he's awesome. I just traded for him in a league where I gave up Stephon Diggs, Jamal Williams, and Jalen Waddle. So I traded 3 for 1 pretty much, and he pretty much helped me win that league. What up, Hawkman? What's good, man? Appreciate you hopping on the stream, brother. Please like, please share, please subscribe for anybody who's listening. And if you're watching the replay, definitely drop a comment below if you got any fantasy questions based off of waiver wire pickups, or just questions in general, or comments. Drop them below. So Tariq Hill was amazing. He had 12 targets, 11 receptions, 186 yards, 3 touchdowns. This guy had 47 points in regular PPR format. In this league, I had Tariq Hill, and I still lost. Everybody that I play in this particular league, they go off on me. The guy that the guy that I played against had Cordero Patterson. Is Cordero Patterson a wide receiver? Is Cordero Patterson a running back? I don't know. Hawk says I need to be making some trades in a major way. Absolutely, make trades, but don't give up your entire team based off of just making trades. Make trades that make sense. Cordero Patterson had an amazing week. He came in as the wide receiver 3, if he's considered a wide receiver. Deebo Samuel came in as wide receiver 2. DJ Moore 4. Terry McLaurin 5. Deontay Johnson 6. Randall Cobb 7. Corey Davis 8. Van Jefferson 9. Tyler Boyd 10. Justin Jefferson 11. Khalif Raymond 12. Wow. So Khalif Raymond made it as a wide receiver 1 this week. It's just so random when guys like Khalif Raymond come out of nowhere. What did he have? He had 3 receptions, 46 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Go figure. Devontae Smith barely missed that wide receiver 1 conversation. Jamison Crowder's a guy you want to go ahead and scoop a Khalif Raymond if you need help. He seems to be a target for Jared Goff. He had a good week in week 3, 12 points. And in week 4, he had 19 points. So, those are numbers that are trending up. Since I have LeGarrette Blount Jr. on my team at running back. Well, hey, then I guess you got to make major trades then. Tyler Boyd is a guy to go ahead and trade for. Van Jefferson, put your claim in on Van Jefferson. Randall Cobb is coming into his own. Obviously, this is the first major week for him, but all that shows me is that Aaron Rodgers is going to start to trust him more and more. And if he's playing against Cincinnati, Randall Cobb could be a good play next week. I'm going to do the waiver wire show 2 days from now. So you guys bear with me on Thursday afternoon at some point. I'm going to do the waiver wire show. Who else to target out here for it's Darnell Mooney? He had a good game. Darnell Mooney had 5 catches for 125 yards. If he had a touchdown, he has an even bigger week. So Darnell Mooney's a guy that you can go ahead and target if he's available in your league. Buy low candidate, a guy that I don't like, but he's a buy low. Kenny Gallaudet, I think that he's going to start to get better and better as the season progresses. He had 7 targets, 6 receptions for 116 yards. He's playing Dallas. He's going to be going against Trayvon Diggs, but I think that Kenny Gallaudet is starting to come into his own. He had 10 points week 3. He had 17 points in week 4. So he's trending up. So he might be a guy that you want to go ahead and target right now. Laviska Shenault, I talked about him last week. I'm trading for this guy. I'm trading for Laviska Shenault everywhere I can get him. I think that he's going to be the number 1 target for Trevor Lawrence. I think this guy right here, he's going to command plenty of targets. AJ Green, he's sneaking up on everybody. Last week he had 16. This week he had 17 points. So AJ Green is a guy you want to go ahead and put in a claim for, man. I'm really liking what AJ Green is bringing to the table. Jacoby Myers, I cut him too late. I cut him too early. I think I cut him in week 2, and in week 3 he had 18 points in PPR and 16 points in week 4. So there seems to be a PPR monster. He's getting anywhere now from 9 to 14 targets. He's getting anywhere from 6 to 9 receptions a game. So he's a PPR monster. He's tearing up right now. Jacoby Myers is a buy low candidate. Go scoop him if he's available in your leagues. I doubt it. So you probably got to trade for him. But he's definitely a guy that I want to have on my team currently. Let me see if there's any other gems I can toss at you guys besides these few. Oh, Marquise Hollywood Brown. He's been pretty good. He's been getting these long, touchdowns. But at the same time, he's scoring. Week 1, 19 points. Week 2, 23. Week 3, 8, and in week 4, 19. He's a top-tier wide receiver in this game. Currently, he has 3 touchdowns, and he's on his way to a 10-touchdown season if this continues. Moving on to running backs, I also think that wide receivers are going to have a record-breaking amount of touchdowns this season. Mark my words. So if Cordero Patterson is considered a running back, he was a running back 1 this week. We don't know what he is. In Yahoo, he's still a wide receiver and running back. So he was running back 1 this week. Saquon Barkley was 2. Austin Eckler was 3. Austin Eckler won me so many leagues yesterday. I needed a Monday night miracle, and he got it done for me. Josh says, hey, man, is Adam Thielen for Swift a good trade? Absolutely. Swift is a bona fide running back this year. And if you can get Swift, who's a running back 1 legit this year for Adam Thielen, yes, I love Adam Thielen, but if you trade Thielen for Swift, that's a good trade. That's more than enough. That's fair. But I don't think the guy that has Swift gives you Swift for Adam Thielen. But you never know. That's definitely a trade that I would make. All right, where was I? Austin Eckler won me a couple leagues this week. I needed 20 points. He got me 29, so I was excited about that. Big week for running backs because Saquon Barkley had 29. Austin Eckler has 29. Derrick Henry came in at 4. Montgomery at 5. Montgomery's hurt. I told you guys pick up Damian Williams. And also, you might want to pick up Khalil Herbert. That's just another name to, throw a dart at because Damian Williams is also banged up, but I think Damian Williams is the running back this week. Najee Harris came in at, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Najee Harris came in at number 6. Kenneth Gainwell at number 7. He's a hot waiver wire ad this week. I'm in a dynasty league to where I had Kenneth Gainwell in my taxi, and I was able to start him because Christian McCaffrey was hurt. I picked up Peyton Barber, but Josh Jacobs played, so dart throw, played Kenneth Gainwell, and he got me 20-something points in that league and won me the game this week versus the number 1 team, the last undefeated team in the league. So I was proud about that. Number 8 was James Conner. He was coming into his own. He had 18 carries for 50 yards, but he had 2 touchdowns. So James Robinson 9, Jonathan Taylor 10, Ezekiel Elliott 11, Clyde Edwards-Helaire 12. So these are your running back ones this week. So you needed at least 19 points from the running back to crack the running back 1 status. The running backs are slowly but surely coming back. because usually most weeks, you know what I'm saying, 15 points makes it into RB1 territory. But this week it was some pretty good running backs. Man, my guy Bruising, man, what's good? This is LaVisca of Hollywood Brown. That's a good one. That's really a good one. I will probably lean towards LaVisca just for the simple fact that Rashard Bateman is coming back and Rashard Bateman is healthy. So you got Bateman out there in Baltimore. You got Hollywood Brown. You got Mark Andrews. But on the opposite side, you got LaVisca, you got Marvin Jones, and I don't even know who their tight end is, Dan Arnold. So I like LaVisca getting more targets than Hollywood Brown, but Hollywood Brown does have more upside in terms of touchdowns. But then again, it all goes back to who do you trust as the quarterback? Do you trust in Lamar Jackson or do you trust in Trevor Lawrence? So that's really tough. It's really 50-50. You can go either way. But if you was here last week, which you saw that I was high on LaVisca. So I'm taking LaVisca over Hollywood Brown. I could be wrong, but you can't go wrong either way. I think both guys will have close to the same amount of points in PPR format. It's just that LaVisca gets it in catches, and then Marquise Brown gets it in maybe a touchdown. But that's a great question. Let me see. But yeah, the running backs are coming back. And like I said, 19 points gets you into RB1 status. And that's how it should be. It should be 19, 20 points gets you into RB1 status. But last year, it was a bad year for running backs to where J.D. McKissic was RB1 so many weeks. He had 16 points this week. And last year, 16 points was RB1 status for J.D. McKissic. Lyndon Fournette is a good buy low candidate right now. I think he's going to get better and better and better. And you see that Tom Brady is making Lyndon Fournette into a decent pass catching back. So that bodes well. Also, buy low on Darrell Henderson. I think each week he gets better and better and better. He missed week 3, obviously, but week 1, 15, week 2, 17, week 4, 16. If you're looking for a 15 to 16 consistent scorer out of that running back position is Darrell Henderson. That's your guy. Put in a claim for Jeremy Nichols. Stash him and see what happens in Tennessee, because it seems like Titans want to pass the ball more, especially in their hurry-up offense. So Jeremy Nichols could be a guy for you. Alex Collins, I've talked about him plenty of times, telling you guys to stash him. He is the bona fide backup to Chris Carson. And I'm liking Alex Collins more and more and more. He's a nice change of pace to Chris Carson. So who knows, maybe an injury or two, knocking on wood, Alex Collins becomes a running back that can, push himself into that RB1 status. Because look what he did as a backup this week, 15 points in PPR format. If there's no Chris Carson, you're talking about maybe 20, 25 points. The way that he played, he was very effective versus the 49ers Sunday. Antonio Gibson got hurt. I talked about it early on in the show. You want to stash Jared Patterson just in case. I still think that McKissic gets the bulk of the work. Hey, what's good? Clap says help. Trade Najee and Kelsey for Cook and Waller. You know what? That's actually a good trade. It's almost even. I think that Najee and Dalvin Cook are not too far off, especially the way that Najee is being used. Kelsey and Waller, it's about as good as it gets. I would say if you want to make this deal, you make it. I think that look, this trade is as even as it comes. I just traded Waller. I just traded for Waller, but I gave up George Kittle because George Kittle, the injuries, you don't know what's going on. But I think this trade right here is fair. I get what you're doing. You want to trade Najee Harris so you can have a Dalvin Cook, but make sure you go ahead and get Madison. Make sure you go ahead and get Madison just in case Dalvin Cook gets hurt. I think that Najee Harris is still in RB1 conversation this year. Kelsey, do not be worried about what's happened the last 2 weeks for Kelsey. I think Kelsey's going to be fine. Waller has been maybe more consistent, but Kelsey has more blow-up potential. So, personally, if I were you, I see why you would want to make this trade, but I wouldn't make this trade. Josh says he declined it immediately. Yeah, most definitely, man. Yeah, it's just a trade that I don't think that he would have done, and I was right. So let's go ahead and move into the next position before I go ahead and end the stream. But let me see. Is there any other running backs to put in claim for? Darrell Williams, put in a claim for him just in case Clyde Edwards-Helaire gets hurt. But at the same time, Darrell Williams is getting more and more burned as a backup running back. He had 10 carries, 42 yards, and a touchdown Sunday versus the Eagles. So Darrell Williams is becoming something. I'm telling you guys now, grab him before it's too late. I told you guys weeks ago to grab a Damian Williams before it's too late. Now Montgomery's hurt and Damian Williams is in the high RB2 conversation going into week 5. So Damian Williams, Darrell Williams, Alex Collins, Jeremy Nichols, those are the guys you put your claims in for. And then you can throw some dart throws at some other, running backs in the Carolina Panthers, backfield. Chuba Hubbard wasn't really it. The guy was Rodney Smith. So if you got space, get a Rodney Smith. Get guys like Brandon Bolden from New England. Stash those guys. Latavius Murray, he's back to being the RB1 for the Ravens. I mean, he had 11 points, but 11 points is 11 points. If you're looking for a guy that's going to be commanding 18 touches, 18 carries, that's your guy. Who else would I say? Michael Carter, he's more so of a grab and stash. Each week he gets better and better, but he has not really broken out yet. He's had, 3-10, 4-10. So it seems like every other week he does something, but ATL is not really good against the run. So he's a dart throw for you in deep leagues, especially in redraft leagues. You want to go ahead and stash you on Michael Carter. Most definitely. Now, as we move on to the next position group, which is tight end. Tight end is a weird one. I really don't know who to pick sometimes with tight ends, but I told you guys about Dalton Schultz, and he just continues to show up as a top-tier tight end this year. CJ Uzomah, that's how you say it, not Uzomah, okay? It's Uzomah, all right? CJ Uzomah had a great game Thursday night, 5 receptions, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's the number 1 tight end this week. Dawson Knox continues to produce. Dawson Knox was tight end 2 this week. He's had weeks of 8, 9, 14, and 20. So Dawson Knox is becoming a thing, and I think he gets some burn this week versus the Kansas City Chiefs, followed by the Tennessee Titans the following week. So yeah, Dawson Knox, he's becoming a thing. He's becoming a name. So it seems like the tight ends are a little bit deeper this year, more than regular, but maybe not as consistent, which is, always a problem. Plenty tight ends caught touchdowns this week. Plenty. And if they caught touchdowns, you possibly won the league. If they caught 2 touchdowns, you really won. Like CJ Uzomah had 2. Dawson Knox had 2 touchdowns. Mo Alley-Cox came in and had 2 touchdowns. He was tight end 3. Tight end 4, Jared Cook last night had a good game. Dalton Schultz at 5. Max Williams at 6. He had 5 receptions, 66 for 1. Who else? Jaceki had a good game. Dallas Goedert, Noah Fant. All these guys scored. Of course, Darren Waller. Hunter Henry has now entered into a conversation. He scored as well as Jonnu Smith. And everybody's always wondering, what do we do with this tight end group? The more and more Mac Jones gets comfortable, the better it is for the tight ends. I think both tight ends are going to eat this year, whether it's Jonnu Smith, whether it's Hunter Henry. You want to go ahead and grab one of these guys and let them be your backup tight end. You want to rock with guys like, obviously, the Wallers of the world. But in all honesty, Dalton Schultz is a guy that you got to have on your squad. He continues to get targets. You know what I'm saying? He had 8 targets, 6 receptions, 58 and 1. Okay? The week before that, he had 7 targets, 6 receptions, 80 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I think most weeks you're going to see a Dalton Schultz get touchdowns here or there. Dalton Schultz is this year's Robert Tonyan. I'm telling you guys right now, if you can trade for Dalton Schultz, you go ahead and do it. He's available in tons and tons of leagues still because we don't believe. But how many more weeks does he have to do something like this for you to know, hey, this guy's a top tight end? In 3 out of the 4 weeks, Dalton Schultz have had 6 or more targets. And every time he gets 6 or more targets, he gets 6 receptions. Every time he's targeted, he gets a catch because he's always open. When you have CeeDee Lamb that didn't have much of an impact, you have Amari Cooper, you have Wilson, you have all these different weapons. Dalton Schultz is the one guy that's always open across the middle. So you guys want to go ahead and cop a Dalton Schultz. If you have a Dalton Schultz, you're not worried about trading for Kelsey or even Waller. You are fine. Lock with Dalton Schultz. I like Noah Fant moving forward, even though Teddy Bridgewater got hurt and you now have a downgrading quarterback play. But the quarterback's best friend is always the tight end. So I expect out of everybody on the Broncos team right now that can receive passes, Noah Fant is the guy to own. He's the guy to own. He's that safety blanket, and he's going to help Drew Luck out if he's the guy. I'm not a Drew Luck guy at all by any stretch of the imagination, but a guy that you should sell is Mark Andrews. If you can sell Mark Andrews for a RB2 or even an RB1 or a high upside RB2, and you go ahead and pick up one of these guys like Dawson Knox or Schultz, that can definitely help you win your league. There's so many tight ends this year. Tight ends is a deep position. I mean, you got guys like Kyle Pitts, TJ Hawkinson, George Kittle, Higbee, Ingram. Any one of these guys can go off on any particular week. And if you don't have a premier top tier tight ends, it's okay. You can get away with a Jared Cook. You can get away with a Mike Gesicki, who's had 2 consecutive weeks of positive play. After he burned us all week 1 with that goose egg, he's had 7, 18, and 16. So there's tons and tons of tight ends to play around with. Just grab the ones that make sense and hope for the best. He says, hey, man, Zeke for Dalvin Cook. PPR, I'm 1-3. Absolutely. If the guy's going to give away Dalvin Cook for Zeke, you go ahead and do it. I mean, that's a trade that you got to make. I like Dalvin Cook's upside. I think as the season gets on and he gets healthier, you'll start to see some amazing, crazy numbers out of Dalvin Cook. But, yeah, I'm definitely trading Zeke for Dalvin Cook all day long. That says James Robinson or Chris Carson. That's a good one. I own both. Who do I trust more right now? I'll have to say James Robinson. He's coming into his own. He's had 2 really strong games back-to-back, so I will go James Robinson over Chris Carson. Definitely. All right, where was I? So, yeah, tight ends, man, just pick one and roll with it. Don't think too much when it comes to tight ends because they're up and down. Even the really good ones like TJ Hawkinson, who came out 25 points, 20 points last 2 weeks, 3 and 8. But watch him have a good game versus Minnesota and Cincinnati. So, yeah, these tight ends are going to be up and down. Even a guy like Max Williams, he's had 2 good weeks out of the last 3 weeks, 16, 4 points, and 17. So, yeah, with these tight ends, you just got to hope that they're getting anywhere from 6 to 7 targets a game. That's what you aim for. If you're getting 10 consistent points out of your tight end, then you're doing well. All right, kickers. Not going to spend too much time on kickers, but Tyler Bass has been pretty good. Matt Prater, you want to go ahead and get these offenses that put up mad points like Buffalo, Arizona, Tampa Bay. And obviously, Justin Tucker is the GOAT. But really, kickers, you can stream them. What I like to do is I will start a kicker that's going against a terrible team like the Jets or like Jacksonville. You know that a team is going to be so bad that they can't stop you. That increases the amount of field goal kicks that you'll be able to get. So it just bodes well when you're playing a team that's just so bad like the Jets or the Texans. You want to start the kickers versus those teams because they'll have more kicking opportunity. And believe it or not, sometimes the kicking game does help you win. Like if you started Tyler Bass this week or Matt Prater, Ryan Saka, you probably won your league. You probably was in pretty good position getting 15 to 16 points from your kicker. That's league changing because a lot of these other kickers, I think only like 7 of them had double digits. The rest had like 9 to 4 to 3. So just imagine starting a kicker that scored, let's say 3 points, and then you went against a kicker that had 16. That's an unfair advantage to even begin the matchup with. That's a 13-point advantage. So kickers are important. You know, people like to throw them away or talk trash about kickers. Kickers are important. All right, last position group this week is defense. And the teams to target this week is who are the Jets playing? Who are the Texans playing? Teams like that. So Buffalo picked them up in a few leagues, started them against Houston, 23 points. Nobody else scored anything close to 23. If you had Buffalo in your lineup, you pretty much won this week. Baltimore had 11, and then everybody else had 9. Like nobody else had double-digit points in defense except of Buffalo and Baltimore. So if you started anybody this week, you're okay. As long as the teams didn't get you a negative. Like if you started New England this week, 2 points. So with defenses, man, there's really no strategy. You just play one and hope for the best. Like if a team returns a kickoff, like I started Washington's defense one more time. I trusted them one more time versus that statue they call Matthew Stafford. But I mean, Matt Ryan. And they were not able to get, not even, I think they got one sack versus Matt Ryan. But what saved me was they returned a kickoff, 101 kickoff, and that got me some points. I ended up with 7 points from Washington. And after the game, I have humbly dropped them back into the waiver wire pool. Somebody else can deal with that problem. But yeah, with defenses, man, target the teams that play Houston, target the teams that play the Jets, target the teams that play Jacksonville. Every rookie quarterback is going to struggle this year. And if they don't struggle, then oh well. So you want to target these rookie quarterbacks when you're picking your DSTs and just hope for the best. So guys, this is the Waiver Wire show this week. This is your guy Manny. Appreciate you guys hopping on. If you're going to watch the replay, if you're watching the replay, please drop some comments below. If you're new to the channel, please like, please subscribe, and please share. I will be back Thursday evening, maybe around 4 p.m. Central Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time to do the sit and starts. So you guys look out for that. And for the Washington fans, I will be doing the stream tomorrow night at 9:30 Central Time. We're going to talk about this game versus ATL, and we're also going to talk about the Saints game. If there's any Lakers fans out there, the Lakers podcast is coming back. So you guys stay tuned for that. But before I log off here, there's one more question. What's good, man? Appreciate you hopping on the stream. He says, I'm in a predicament. One guy in my league just offered me DJ Moore for Chris Carson. Ooh. He says, I would have a hole at running back, but DJ Moore has been so gross. Absolutely. I think you take this deal. And especially if it's PPR, you take DJ Moore because DJ Moore is going to outscore most running backs. So you go ahead and take the deal, and then you go ahead and work that waiver wire and work that waiver wire and work that waiver wire until you find a running back. Running backs, they get hurt so easily. Go ahead and make this trade. Get DJ Moore. Give up Carson. Go pick up Alex Smith. If you're just tuning into the show right now, go back and rewind or go back and start the show over and just look at the running backs that I said to target and go target those guys from the free agent wire. I think they're going to be out there. Just pick up somebody because these backs do get hurt. But yeah, DJ Moore is a stud. DJ Moore has a chance to be a wide receiver 1 this year. He's going to be definitely a top 12 wide receiver this year, and he's definitely Sam Darnold's favorite target. So guys, I'm out. I'll catch you guys on the next